Bleach Chapter 589, and oh my god, was this a funny chapter. Beginning to end, you can really see that whoever Kubo's new editor is, they're really pushing the comedy, and I didn't really think Bleach could do this. I mean, some of the jokes I haven't really seen since like the Soul Society arc and things like that, and it was really strange to see the what was it, the moment between like when Chad asks Ichigo about how he thinks of Orihime's clothing, and I'm thinking, what? I mean, like, Orihime's a fairly shy girl, and I thought, like, the clothing was a little bit too much, and it makes sense that, you know, Urahara was the one to give it to her and things like that, but, like, I just did not see that coming, and Ichigo still acts like a schoolboy, and that really pissed me off, but nevertheless, Yoruichi coming in and slapping the shit out of him was just so funny. In all seriousness, it actually did come out to some, you know, important details come out, and it was talking about the 12th Division, you know, or the Science Space Division. They decided to build a cannon inside the division, and for some reason nobody's ever noticed this over the hundreds of years. The profound logic in that. But nevertheless, it wasn't even Urahara that decided to make it. It was his predecessor before him. I can't remember the captain's name. And it was quite interesting, and because it's not even as good as the cannon that they usually use, which is made by the other girl. I can't quite remember her name, but it only lasts one time. I mean, that sounds pretty damn convenient, doesn't it? If it only works one time and they've never used it before, because, you know, it would break if they did, then, like, how do they even know it works in the first place? And yes, with these things, they require a substantial amount of energy. And so that was where Yoruichi went, and she collected lots of power that was released around the area when the Seireite and the the Quincy's hangout sort of came out from each other, and the worlds separated. And it says that a whole lot of energy was released. I mean, now that says to me that once again we have underestimated Juha. Juha is just a whole new beast entirely, and that he was single-handedly powering the, he was keeping the two dimensions together yet not together, if that makes any sense. And if that's the case, then, like, how goddamn powerful is this guy? Like, this isn't Dragon Ball Z. We don't have numbers to say, like, what power levels and things are. But if that's the case, then I reckon Ichigo, in all his glory, is like a hundredth of the power of Juha. I mean, like, we're gonna have to go Final Getsuga Tensho like 20 times over if this is actually gonna do anything. And even then, we don't even know how powerful Final Getsuga Tensho was. I mean, that could have been God level. We just don't know. That's what's so hard about showing plot development. It's just all over the place, and you just never know what's gonna come through. And that's, you know, where your power of friendship and things like that come in. Second part of the chapter was Ikkaku and the other guy, I can't remember his name, the flamboyant dude, and they're fighting against Bambietta the zombie, and, you know, the zombie. And it was interesting, I almost entirely forgot about Bambietta's ability to throw reishi and turn everything to bombs, which is just a crazily overpowered ability. I mean, I cannot wait to see that get animated. And it was just very awesome, I gotta say. And I didn't realise that Ikkaku had the agility that he could just go straight up and avoid lots of, it would have been hundreds of attacks by the looks of it, and goes up there straight and just stabs her straight through the heart. And then the other guy cuts her arm straight off. I'm like, you know, ever since we've entered this arc, Bleach has gotten so much more in gore. I mean, like, if we think back to Oronka arc, we remember, like, Yulaquik, or how the hell you pronounce his name, just blew a hole through Ichigo, but that was just a black, darkened hole. That wasn't blood. I mean, we're seeing arms cut off. We're seeing insides coming out. I mean, I remember back to that Stern Ritter, which really sucked. The Imagination guy, I forget his name. When he died brutally as. I'm gonna say, Kubo, chill out, man. I mean, there are still kids reading this. I mean, I know it won't ever get, you know, when they put it into anime form, it just won't be there. But nevertheless, it's like, alright, so you can do that. Well, go ahead, it's awesome. It's awesome anyway. Now, how can I not mention that? I was sort of trying to play it down last time, because I thought, well, come on, let's be a bit more mature with the whole "you smell like semen" thing. I mean, just like, whatever. But then, like, this chapter, they continued to go on that, saying, you know, that would make me wet, but wouldn't that make you hard instead, you sick pervert? And it's just like, do we really need this, guys? I mean, just like, come on, even this is a training. Do we really need the continuous jokes here? But nevertheless, that was so funny. That was so damn funny. And coming from a guy who's always been, well, let's say pretty borderline on what his sexuality is. I mean, it's, you know, I guess you could call it hypocritical, but you know, that's just another matter entirely, I guess. The chapter finishes up with the 12th Division Captain Kurisachi, I think that's how you pronounce his name, and he's dressed up like a giant shiny ass flower, even still. I don't even know what that suit does, but I imagine it does something very cool knowing this guy, because I really like his fights, because they're all very technical, they're all very unsuspecting, and he always pulls something out of his ass that is completely amazing. And I gotta say, I don't really think he's actually needed, to be honest. I mean, the Ikaku and the other guy, they're pretty beast as it is. I mean, one's got a bunkai, and they've already cut off several of the limbs. They're not exactly having a hard time out there. I mean, yeah, they might be pretty banged up and everything, but you know, there's still lots of other people to kick lots of ass out there. That's about it for the chapter today, guys. That was Bleach Chapter 589, The Old and New Trust. I give this chapter about an 8 out of 10. It wasn't that much content, but oh, goddamn was this funny. This was so funny, and I really like to see a bit of a break from all the war and the death and the serious and the gore and everything. It's like, come on, Kubo, go back to your trolling and just be the funny dude that you can be, because we don't see enough of this in Bleach. It just gets too serious sometimes, or it just gets, you know, too jumpy from one to the other. It's like, come on, put a bit of filler in, put a bit of, you know, just make us love the characters, not just like, oh, I use my big slash and cut the planet in half, and we're just, you know, looking at how amazing they are. So yes, back to the good old humour that we love in Bleach. Next chapter, I imagine that we will seeing a bit of, we'll obviously be seeing them going straight up to the Soul Palace, and I think we will see a little bit more character development between, you know, maybe Oroichi will come along, but I don't think she's very powerful. I think there may be a few sort of unsuspecting events. What I'd really like to see is a fight with the 12th Division Captain, because I don't think he's just going to fight Bandietta and the zombie. I think it's just, he doesn't really need to be there. I mean, they're not that formidable at the moment. I think someone else needs to show up and be like, whoa, I'm still powerful and this guy is needed. Or he's not even there to fight at all. He's about to pull something out his ass that's going to turn the tables anyway. So we just don't know, but I gotta say, I'm very much looking forward to this chapter coming up. Anyway guys, that is about the chapter for today. Hope you had a good week and I hope you enjoyed the chapter. I hope you enjoyed the video as well. Tell me what you think's going to happen next chapter. I'm super, super hyped, I gotta say. Kubo, absolute beast. Put the comedy back in because I love it. It might be a bit immature, but oh, I don't care. It's funny and I like it a lot. Anyway guys, have a good one.